You need a free hand to do anything with a toolkit, even if you are wearing them. It is one hand if you are wearing them, and two if you are not wearing them. Let me explain. So way back in CRB days, before Remaster, all the tool-related actions, okay, like battle medicine, treat wounds, treat disease, pick a lock, repair, any of these things that use a toolkit, including the alchemy ones that need the alchemy toolkit, they all used to use the legacy requirement here of you are holding the tools or you are wearing them and have a free hand. This is what it used to say in CRB, the core rulebook before Player Core, before Remaster, before all of this, okay? When Player Core came out, they changed all of these requirements to say this instead. You're holding or wearing a toolkit. Notice the difference here before we continue. This is specifying you have a free hand. This is specifying or wearing. And holding doesn't say anything about the amount of hands required. That seems a little confusing, or just something you can take at face value when you first look at it. So why did they remove the or you are wearing them and have a free hand part? Why did they get rid of the have a free hand part? Because technically with this wording, it would suggest that if you had a sword in one hand and began actually holding the toolkit, aka two hands full, one with the kit, one with the sword, you now are technically no longer fulfilling that old requirement of needing a free hand, because the kit, as designed, needs to end up occupying said free hand. Now, here's the problem that I am going to point out to you. This is what I used to think. Because this says you're holding or wearing, and in English, or after something that is a requirement means you don't require this at all. This is going to supersede this. You will notice that this is basically, okay, is holding then two hands? Or is this saying it's zero hands? So there's two parties nowadays. There's people who think you need two hands to do this at all times, or if you're wearing it, you can do this with zero hands. So how did we get here? The missing piece is the wearing toolkits entry, which was an errata all the way back in the CRB days first printing, which is what Player Core now ships with. And the system expects you, since Player Core, to know this wearing toolkits entry. And it especially expects you to know that this means that this easy access allows you to draw and replace the tools within as part of the action that uses them, rather than needing to interact to draw them. I'm going to say that one more time. Easy access, aka wearing it, allows you to draw, having to have it in a hand, and replaces the tools as part of the action that uses them, aka battle medicine. It's one hand. All the way back in the CRB errata, the first printing part 1, if you go all the way down, you're going to hit two very interesting entries talking about exactly what I'm talking about here. One is in battle medicine, and in Player Core, they did this to all of them. Okay, all the tool-related actions. Changed the requirement entry to you are holding or wearing healer's tools. They did this for repair. They did this for all of the tool things. They did this. And this is what they had to talk about it way back in CRB days. We're updating the tools revamp, which is this wearing toolkits, to indicate that worn tools, along with other toolkits, take only one hand to use, as you don't have to hold the whole kit in your other hand. Because a whole kit is two if you're not wearing it, remember. It's two if you're not wearing it, it's one if you are. Just pull out the things you need. What this means for battle medicine, or any other now in Player Core, that's what they changed into Player Core, it's all of them, means that for all those tool skills is that you only need one free hand, but you need a free hand. Perform it with worn tools. You don't need both hands. It even clarifies further here to reflect the clarification on tools, allowing you to draw them as part of the action if you're wearing them. Change the requirement to you are holding tools or you're wearing them and have a hand free. This is what they did, but then realized that by doing this and have a free hand after the fact created a problem. So they got rid of that here in the Player Core and expect you to know this, because the rules of the game always supersede the information that is just within the blocks of the tiny things that we do. Check out my video on doors, materials, structures, and simple DCs versus DC by level, because most GMs and players are skipping most of the possibilities and are just assuming they understand what Pick a Lock's intention is. And I learned all these things just like I learned this thing today, okay? By learning I was wrong. I was wrong. Let's say it together one more time. I was wrong.
His name is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson. This is over with. His name is Robert Paulson.
Because nobody says it enough. And here I am. I found out how and why I am wrong, why I was wrong, so I could explain to you that I was indeed wrong. And you know what? That is okay. Read the rules. Don't just look at the action or activity. Read the rules.
His name is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert